So how many of you have just, referred that particular topic, functions of human resource management? Anybody who was just made an attempt to read that?
Yeah, we made a lot of attempt, but e-Gyan Kosh as well as the Techno LMS is not working.
Okay. So you were not able
You
to
can
go
see,
through the
yeah,
content?
you can see the chat box. Many of
They
us
started total Igno
expressed.
website was down.
Even
Okay.
earlier also it has been very. It has
Okay,
not
so
been
what we will be doing for today is, this is one of the very important.
Yes, I also received so many emails.
Ma'am, there is an echo coming from your end.
Okay. Yes, Abhi, ठीक है. Okay. Actually, I have also received so many emails regarding this issue. So there must be some technical issue. So we can wait for that.
Okay. So as you all know that this is a counseling session. So it is not going to be, and it's not possible also for me to go on very technically with each and every topic which is there in your syllabus. But I'll try to do justice with what are the at least, important base, I would say, for understanding this particular subject, that is human resource management. Functions of human resource management is one of the very important topics and area, because if we are very clear with what are the functions of human resource management, you will understand approximately the entire syllabus of yours in the coming blocks and units. Can you see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just give me a minute and I'll put that on the slideshow. I hope it is visible now to all of you.
Not PPT, it's your screen which is visible.
You can't see functions of human resource management on a slide?
No, only Google Meet.
Okay.
Just share the.
Your screen, desktop is visible.
Yeah. I'll just share my entire screen. I hope now it is visible.
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Okay. So let us begin with the topic for today's counseling, that is functions of human resource management. As I just said, that this is one area of HRM which is very, very important, because this gives you a clarity about the entire functioning of the human resource manager. As you can see on the slide, the functions of human resource management broadly are classified into two. You will find many books where the functions of human resource management have been also classified into three. I'll also explain you the third one so that you don't have any confusion if you refer any other author or any other book. If I talk about how do we classify functions of HR, first function is managerial function. Second function is operative function. And the third function is the strategic functions of human resource management. If I talk about the managerial functions, this is something for those who have studied management subjects before would be able to connect with me, or those who have studied commerce before, even you will be in a position to connect with me, that in every organization, manager has to perform certain managerial functions. So either you are the manager of HR, you are the manager of marketing, you are the manager of accounts. Everywhere, every manager has to do certain managerial functions. What are they? They are planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. Planning is basically when we say that what do you need to achieve, or what is your target, or what is something what you want to accomplish. For that, every manager does planning. Similarly, the HR manager also performs managerial function. Under that, the first one is planning. So he plans out the entire thing. Here comes even the manpower planning. Like I would put it into this way: what is the need of the human resource? in the organization. Many times what happens is, when people are working in the organization, we have either excess or we have shortage of HR. Both these situations are very, very dangerous. Why they are dangerous? Because if we have excess of HR, then also it is going to lead to high cost, because you have people who are employed in the organization, but they do not have as such any work to do because they are in excess and they're sitting idle. Those people who sit idle, you will, you are going to, I think you're with me if I say that they will not only, not perform any function or work, but they will also spoil the working of the others. And more of, I would say, grapevine communication happens. That is, gossiping will start in the organization because people are idle, they don't have work to do. If I put that into the other sense, that is, if there is shortage of HR in the organization, that is also a situation which is very, very dangerous. Why it is dangerous? For the reason, if you don't have people in the organization to work, only the existing people, those who are there in the organization, they would be given each and everything. तो दोनों ही तरीके से situations जो है, they are very, very dangerous. So under one of the functions of human resource management, that is the managerial function, that comes the planning part. So he plans the entire activities of the HR department. Then it is to organize. Organizing means to see how the things are to be accomplished. That means you set certain goals and then you try to perform those particular goals. So you have different types of activities which you group them together. Similar kind of activities are grouped together, you organize them, and you try to accomplish them at a minimum cost. Direction, that is the third managerial function of every organization. Direction means to see in which way it is going to be achieved. Like suppose if I want to hire people in my organization, I would be planning first that whether it is shortage or it is surplus, I would be organizing that how am I going to, invite people in my organization. If it is shortage of HR, I would be directing whether I am going to have personal interviews, whether I am going to have written test, whether I am going to have other modes of assessment in which I can get the right person for the right job. So this goes as direction. That means in which way the manager has to accomplish that particular target or the goal. He directs the activity in that same manner. Controlling is the last function, managerial function, which is said to be very, very important. Controlling means to understand what you have set the standards and what have you actually achieved. So your controlling and managerial function means, like if I have planned something that I want 10 people and at the end of that particular, I would say recruitment process, if I have hired only 7 people, 8 people, that is what I'll come to know through controlling. What was the standard, what I have set, and what is the actual, I would say recruitment. As I've taken example of recruitment, so I'm linking that particular thing, these two managerial functions, planning and controlling in that sense. I can have it for any managerial activity. I have just taken example of recruitment area because we are talking about human resource management. We can have these managerial functions related to planning, organizing, directing, controlling of things in overall organizations. It happens in the accounts department. It happens in the marketing department. It happens in the planning department, or rather I would put that as the administrative department. It also happens in the HR department. So that is the first function of human resource management, that is said to be managerial function. Every manager has to perform these functions if he or she is running or rather taking care of that particular organization. Let's come to the second function. Second major function of HRM is classified into operative functions. Can anybody tell me what do we mean by operative? Anybody who has heard about this word, operative? Anyone?
It means can I speak?
Yes, please go ahead.
It means the kind of job they need to do with the operations, like the actual job that the HR does. For example,
Okay, what is your name?
Rashmi.
Rashmi, I put that into a very simple thing, what you said, day-to-day activities. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
operative function means all those day-to-day activities which the HR manager does, that falls under the operative functions of HRM. Now, if you will see in that particular slide, those operative functions are classified into 5 different categories or 5 different types. We will begin with the first one, that is procurement. Second is training and development. Third is compensation. Fourth is integration. And the last one is maintenance. Also, in many of the books and authors, you will find they have one of the operative functions as separation function. If you remember, we had a discussion on this even yesterday, that what do we mean by separation? That is the employee leaving the organization and going because of many reasons. Let's start with procurement. I will be quickly explaining you all these 5 different functions which are there and the sub points which are included in this. And I expect that by the end of this particular understanding or this particular explanation of functions of HRM, you will be able to study even your syllabus more thoroughly. For the reason, this is that part of the syllabus which is covered in the coming units also. Let us start with the first one, that is procurement. I explained that yesterday also, that procure means to acquire. It is also called as to procure, to acquire, to obtain. Now, if I talk about what to acquire, what to procure, or what to obtain, so here we mean by this human resource. That means I am talking about कि procurement करना किसका, human resource का, acquire करना किसको, human resource को, obtain करना किसको, HR, who's going to work in the organization. For that, under the procurement function, the HR manager has certain roles to play. First among them is job analysis. This, I would say, falls under human resource planning. This is one of the topics for, I guess, your second block also, that is manpower planning. Manpower planning or human resource planning basically means the example which I gave you just few minutes back. If I have excess of people, then what do I do with them? If I have shortage of people in my organization, so how do I hire more people in the organization? So procurement says the first thing should be done by the manager is to do the proper manpower planning. That is to understand what is the condition of the organization in terms of HR. Now, if I say that if there is excess, I have just given you examples. अगर excess में HR है, तो आप उनको remove करते हो organization से. So how do we do that? Either we terminate people, or either we ask them, they are transferred from maybe one sister concern to the other. I can take here, pandemic was the best period. अभी जो period चला है pandemic का last 2-3 years में, you might have read in many of the newspapers, many of the research journals which have done researches in this area, and they have come up कि because of pandemic, because the entire world, the entire things, or every activity came to standstill, बहुत सारी organizations ने क्या किया? They have laid off the HR. I'm using this word as one of the vocabularies of HRM, which is called as layoff. I will be using it again and again. So at this outset only, I would like you to understand the meaning of it. What is layoff and what is retrenchment? Layoff means temporary dismissal of an employee from the organization. Whereas retrenchment, yes? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was talking about these two vocabularies which I am going to use again and again in the coming sessions also, that is layoff and retrenchment. Layoff means when we say it is temporary dismissal of an employee from the organization, whereas when I say it is retrenchment, it means permanent dismissal of an employee. What is temporary dismissal? When the financial capacity of the organization is not sufficient to give the compensation that what we have discussed yesterday, wage and salary to the employees, तो वो क्या करते हैं? वो decision लेते हैं अपने employees को terminate करने का on a temporary basis, जिसे layoff कहा जाता है. और जब आप किसी एम्प्लॉय को परमानेंटली सेपरेट कर देते हो फ्रॉम द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, we call that as retrenchment. I hope the meaning of these two words are clear to you. What is layoff and what is retrenchment? Is it clear?
Madam, I have a question.
Yes.
After layoff, can the employee again be hired with the same organization?
Yes, it happens that if the management has, give them the, rather I would put it in this way, the management have informed them that you are being laid off for a certain period, and if we require human resource again in our organization, so we will be calling you. So priority is given to the laid off people from the organization. I would like to put an example here, sir. आपने बहुत कॉमनली सुना होगा कि ये जो फैक्ट्रीज होती है जहाँ पे लेबर काम करती है, जहां हम ये कार्टून बॉक्सेस बनाते हैं या फिर जहां पे डेली वर्क होता है, इनके जो मेजरली व्हाट इज ऑब्जर्व्ड इज दे गेट ऑर्डर्स, you know, from big industries that they have to. I'm just taking an example of making cartoon boxes. तो अगर सपोजिंगली फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर वीक और मंथ ऑर्डर नहीं है, तो ये फैक्ट्रीज क्या करती हैं, ये लेबर को ले ऑफ कर देती हैं for that particular period, which we also call them to sit down. And when again they have work, they again get the orders to make certain, you know, boxes or let's say certain particular product which they are manufacturing. So again they are hired or they are recruited again in the organization.
And can it be possible for the permanent employees? Because in case of temporary employees, you can
No,
go for
it is
layoff.
basically when we observe this particular thing, it happens with your temporary people, those who are on probation. It is not very easy to fire people, those who are permanent in the organizations.
So what is the difference between daily wager and these layoff employees?
Actually, no, when we talk about these daily wages, those who are there are certain assignments which are given to these daily wage people, that they will be working for a period of a week, for a period of 10, for that particular, as I just said, you know, the kind of, I would say, orders which are given to them. Usually it is observed that when we go for layoffs in the organization, ये बहुत loosely use होता है ये word against retrenchment. Like अभी बहुत सारी जो researches हुई थी उसमें retrenchment word बहुत ज़्यादा use नहीं था, पर ये बहुत सारे news articles में अगर आपने पढ़ा होगा तो it was mentioned that the employees were laid off from the organization for a certain period of time. When you ask your employees to sit down, and because this happens because of the financial I would say incapability of the organization, company is not able to pay you, तो वो ये decision लेते हैं आपको lay off करने का.
In case of layoff, there might be chances of litigations also. Several
Yes,
litigations company
yes,
has to
there
face.
are, and even when the layoffs happen, there is a certain amount of money, or I would say compensation, which is decided by the management, that they agree on, that they will be paying you certain amount of money for the period you are asked to sit down.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Then after that, when we have manpower planning, what we usually do is we go for job analysis. Job analysis means, again, it is classified into two, that is job description and job specification. Again, this is a terminology, a kind of a vocabulary which you will be reading in your notes when you will study about manpower planning. एनालिसिस कैसे होता है? एनालिसिस दो तरीकों से होता है. पहला होता है जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन प्रिपेयर करना और दूसरा होता है जॉब स्पेसिफिकेशन प्रिपेयर करना. What is job description? Job description means all those conditions which are related to that particular job. So it would be nature of job, it would be the skills which are required for that particular, what are going to be the duties, responsibility, nature of the job, that falls under job description. So like suppose I take an example कि मुझे PRO के एक जॉब के लिए रिक्रूटमेंट करना है, तो उससे पहले मैं क्या करूंगी, I will be preparing a job analysis. उस job analysis में I will be preparing job description and I will be preparing job specification. Description में I will be writing about कि PRO क्या क्या role responsibilities करेंगे या करेगा. So in that manner I would be listing down his or her role, responsibility, nature of the job, what he or she is expected to do. I will be preparing the second thing, that is job specification. Specification talks about what qualifications I look in that particular person who's going to be, a PRO in my organization. So I would be listing the qualification, I would be listing the experience, I would be listing the skills, I would be listing all those things on which I am going to do the selection of that particular person. So that is how, when you do the manpower planning under the procurement function, after planning is done, that means after you understand whether it is shortage or excess, you go for, if it is shortage, you go for job analysis, where you prepare job descriptions and job specifications. जब आपकी जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन और स्पेसिफिकेशन क्लियरली, आई वुड से, डिफाइन होती है, देन इन दैट केस व्हाट हैपेंस इज, आपका रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस, इट बिकम्स वेरी सिंपल, or rather I would say it simplifies your entire recruitment process. Why does, or how does it simplifies the recruitment process? Because recruitment means inviting people in the organization. It is a very positive process. जब अगर सपोजिंगली मुझे मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में एम्प्लॉयज रिक्रूट करने हैं, अगर मेरा जॉब एनालिसिस मेरे एंड पे क्लियर होगा, तो आई वुड बी नोइंग कि मुझे किस नेचर के लिए या किस जॉब के लिए उसकी क्या रोल एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज होंगी, किस पर्टिकुलर जॉब प्रोफाइल के लिए आई एम लुकिंग अ पर्सन, एंड व्हाट आर द स्पेसिफिकेशंस, यानी क्वालिफिकेशंस, व्हाट ही और शी शुड हैव. So my recruitment advertisements are going to be very clear. This not only saves time, but it also saves your cost. So job analysis is another very important area under the procurement function. Then comes recruitment, selection, placement, induction. I'll be taking all these four together. Recruitment का मतलब होता है positive process, or rather it is a very positive thing where you invite people. I must say, you might have seen in many of the advertisement in newspapers, taking an example of newspaper advertisements, जहाँ पे बहुत clearly mention होता है that, vacancy, and then they mention there what is the nature of the job which a person has to do, and also they mention, if suppose it is a person who has to be appointed in the let's say marketing department, and they are looking for a marketing manager. So in their advertisements, if job analysis is done in a proper way, they'll mention there MBA in marketing. They'll mention MBA having, let's say, 3 years or 4 years of experience. They'll mention about the communication skills. They'll mention about all those basic things, what they are looking for a person to come and hold the responsibility of a marketing manager. So to have a recruitment in a very planned manner, job analysis is the first step for that particular thing. Selection बहुत negative process होता है, and it is completely opposite of recruitment. When I say it is negative process, why do I say it is a negative process? Because यहाँ से screening start हो जाती है. जितने applications, pool of candidates आपको apply करते हैं आपकी organization में, in selection what you do, you have different types of, I would say, there is a proper selection procedure. It is again there in your notes when you will go through the block 2 where the units are there related to manpower planning, recruitment, selection. You will be reading about it कि एक organization में as per the nature of the job, selection procedure varies. What do I mean by this? I'm hiring a person at a middle level, let's say job, or a middle level, in the organization. Selection procedure बहुत अलग होगा. अगर मुझे किसी को 4th class worker को select करना है organization में, so again, as per the nature of the job, my selection process would be very simple. Suppose if I want to hire a person at an executive level, so my selection procedure or my selection process is going to be comparatively much tougher than what I was using for maybe a middle level or a lower level job. In selection, what we do, there are different types of tests which are conducted. There are different types of interviews which are taken place. And at the end, we also have here your employee referrals. This is also one of the important steps in selection where references are checked. Those who have applied for job anytime, I guess you will agree to me on this कि जब भी हम एक job की application भरते हैं, वहाँ पे एक last में एक column होता है which talks about employees, references, so that a person can give his or her reference of the last job where he or she has worked, or maybe about a person who can give a kind of a feedback, what is the qualities or what are the good traits which a particular, I would say, candidate has. I'll not call him as an employee at this stage because he or she is just a candidate. He's applying for that particular job. So, taking to procurement function, we started with manpower planning. We've talked about job analysis, which is classified into description and specification. We've talked about recruitment, where I said it is a positive process. There are different ways of recruitment, internal and external sources. Again, that we can have it in any other class, because otherwise I'll not be able to finish so many areas of the operative functions. But yes, when you will read internal and external recruitment sources, let me just tell you in a sentence, internal means within the organization and external means outside the organization. जब आप उस पर्टिकुलर वेकेंट सीट को फिल करते हो, यू कैन डू इट ईदर इंटरनली फाइंडिंग पीपल, or you can go externally by inviting people so that they can apply for that particular job which is vacant in the organization. After proper recruitment, we have a selection process. After the selection process, where you apply different tests, employment test, where you apply different types of interviews. Interviews can be depth interview can be where we have a kind of stress interview. Interviews can be in the form of personal interview, it can be a group interview. There are many classifications of interview. So finally, when a person is selected, next thing in the procurement function comes is to place that particular employee. What do we mean by placement? Placement means telling him or her what is the job responsibility, where in which department he or she is going to be placed, or he or she is going to do his or her responsibility. That is what is placement of the employee. Now I can call that person as employee because he has been selected in the organization. Then there comes induction. Induction का दूसरा नाम होता है orientation. Orientation means whenever a person, newly inducted person, comes to the organization, it is the responsibility of the HR manager to brief that particular employee. How do you brief that employee? You tell about company's policies, you tell about the company's vision, you talk about the success stories, you talk about the departmental activities, you induct him telling who is the superior, who is the subordinate, who are the team members, and so on. Usually induction happens in two ways. As I said, induction is orientation, so I can say this happens in two ways. First is a general induction or an orientation, which talks about briefing him about the entire organization. And if I say the second one, that is department induction or orientation. What is department induction or orientation? It means जिस स्पेसिफिक डिपार्टमेंट में उस एम्प्लॉय को आपने इंडक्ट किया है, that particular person is briefed about the departmental members, activities of the department, leader of the department, norms of the department, and so on. This is how the induction of a particular employee happens in the organization. This should be done in a very, very planned manner, and you should make a person comfortable, at ease when he or she is inducted, because उसके लिए ये organization का first day है. जब आप orientation कर रहे हो, induction कर रहे हो, जितना आप उसको positive, you will brief him about the organization in a positive way, the more he is going to be connected, attracted towards that particular organization. So you try to tell all the achievements, the all norms, rules about that particular department. Also in induction, we inform about, let's say it's a big organization and it is your induction process which is happening. तो अगर supposingly बहुत सारे handouts होते हैं जो induction के period में employees को दिए जाते हैं, so that he or she, if he misses something about it, he can refer to those handouts. बहुत बड़ी organizations में even maps are given where you can tell a person कि this is a canteen, or here you have a restroom, or here you have a recreation room, or anywhere if you want to go to particular department, top management, this is how you can, be mobile in that particular organization. Then we have under procurement, transfer and promotion. Transfer and promotion are said to be the internal sources of recruitment. So you will find it that it is also mentioned under the internal sources of recruitment. Why I'm talking about under procurement? क्योंकि transfer में भी आप लोगों को acquire करते हो. You are shifting them from one particular level to the other. Transfer is basically horizontal movement, and promotion is basically vertical movement in the organization. If I say horizontal, that means at the same level. When I say it is promotion, I'm talking about that the level, hierarchy, rank of that particular person in the organization goes higher. That is what is the procurement function is all about. Let us come to the second function, operative function of HR, that is training and development function. Training and development function is one function where you plan how the training is going to be imparted to the employees who are working in the organization. There are different types of trainings which are given. There are on the job and off the job training programs. Let me give you an understanding about what is on the job and what is off the job. I have my recorded videos on this particular area, that is training. I would like to also show you those particular videos after another 10 minutes, so that if you want you can refer those links. If I say training, it means basically when you make them learn, when you make them understand that particular skill which the person or the employee is lacking in, that is how the management plans for training programs. In training, usually it is said to be a very, very costly thing from the organization's point of view, because it is not something which can happen over a day or over a night. You have to do proper planning, you have to have a trainer, you need to identify the trainees, you need to understand the training cost, you need to understand the training methods. So when I'm talking about so much of training, prior to that let me introduce one more thing कि ट्रेनिंग किसके बेसिस पे होती है. जब एक एम्प्लॉई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अपना सेट वर्क करता है, what do management does after a certain period of time? There are appraisals which happen. What is appraisal? Appraisal means to assess that what was the standard which was given to the employee and what he or she has actually achieved. So there are different methods of doing performance appraisal. There are traditional methods, there are modern methods. Again, I have a video on this of mine. I'll share that video with you after 5-7 minutes in the chat box, and you can refer that particular video, which will make the concept more simple and easy for you. So after you do appraisals of the employee and you identify कि यहाँ एक person weak है, यहाँ एक person को मुझे सिखाना है, या I want to make him or her learn that particular skill. After that we have a training program. तो ट्रेनिंग जैसे मैंने अभी कहा ऑन द जॉब होती है, ऑफ द जॉब होती है. लेट मी जस्ट एक्सप्लेन यू द मीनिंग ऑफ इट. डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन यू कैन रिफर टू दैट लिंक व्हिच आई विल बी शेयरिंग. What is on the job? On the job means while you are working in the organization, training is imparted to you along with your role, responsibility, duties. यानी आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अपना रेगुलर वर्क भी कर रहे हो, उसके साथ में आपको ट्रेनिंग दी जा रही है. ऑफ द जॉब का मतलब क्या होता है? आप उस पर्टिकुलर टाइम पीरियड के लिए यू आर नॉट डूइंग द सेट असाइन्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वर्क which is given to you by the management. Rather, you are attending a training program, learning first that particular skill, how will you do it, and then come and join that particular department or organization. I would say it in that particular area of work to simplify your work so that it reduces the chances of accidents. Then comes executive development. This word, I think as a student of HR, you should know that executive development means of managers. Employees are always trained, managers are always developed. So when I talk about development, I'm talking about those people who have been identified in the organization who are responsible or who would be responsible to take up responsibilities in the, as the roles of leaders. So what do management do? They hold these management development programs, which we also call as MDPs. तो उनके लिए मैनेजर्स के लिए बहुत सारे ऐसे प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं, सेमिनार्स होते हैं, कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होती हैं, बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज होती हैं जहाँ पे मैनेजर्स को डेवलप किया जाता है. इसमें एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ट्राइज टू इम्पार्ट इज रिलेटेड टू एम्पैथी. Anybody who can tell me what is the meaning of empathy? Can anybody from the group tell me what do we mean by empathy?
Can I try?
Yes, please
Putting
go
in
ahead.
the shoes of the other
And
person.
Yes.
Putting in
empathy
the
means
shoes of the other person or sharing the feelings.
Yeah, I
exactly.
completely take that, sir. Even the girl who was ready to share, I would like you also to please share your feelings.
It's the same thing, ma'am. Putting oneself in the position of the other and
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
it how the person feels.
Yeah, when we say empathy, we say that putting yourself into others' shoes. That is what is to be empathetic. Sympathy is different and empathy is different. Empathy it is very important for the leaders to be empathetic, because it is very rightly said that personal life cannot be separated from the professional life. So if an employee is going through a tough time in the personal, in his or her personal life, so the managers needs to understand that it is definitely going to affect the professional life also of that particular employee. तो ये जितने एग्जीक्यूटिव डेवलपमेंट्स होते हैं अंडर द ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट फंक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स मैनेजमेंट, we train employees, we develop managers. Okay, so have this understanding clear. Trainings are given to the employees in the form of on the job and off the job training methods by using those methods, whereas the management identifies certain leaders or managers who are going to play the role of the upcoming managers for that particular department, and that is what is the executive development called. Many development programs are organized. I've given example of one, that is management development programs. We have it for a week period, we have it for a tenure, let's say for 10 days or 15 days of time, where different activities are done with them to make them more empathetic towards the subordinates or the employees in the organization. Then we have under training and development, that is career planning and development. Again, for the employees, those who are working in the organization, it becomes very important for the management to plan out the career of the employees, those who are there, existing people, those who are there. तो इसमें क्या होता है, आपको एक करियर पाथ दिया जाता है. मैं एक बहुत छोटा सा एग्जांपल ले रही हूँ, जहां आपको सेट किया जाता है लाइक आफ्टर 5 years व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट एरियाज व्हाट यू एक्चुअली aspire to achieve. So management tries that, looking at those that particular career path which the employee has or which the management has helped him or her to make for himself or herself, he can achieve those particular targets. What is the benefit of this? हम क्यों ये करियर प्लानिंग करते हैं हमारे एज एन व्हेन आई से हम, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फ्रॉम एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. अगर आपके एम्प्लॉय का करियर पाथ जो है वो प्लान्ड होगा, he is going to do activities which is going to not only bring him or bring growth for himself or herself, but it is going to also develop the organization. I hope all of you understand this कि अगर इंडिविजुअल ग्रो करेगा तभी एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ग्रो
The
करती है.
motivation level of the individual will be high.
Yes, it is definitely going to be high, because they will feel that management is thinking about my career. They are planning activities for my career. They are, focused on that. How can I achieve an individual target? So this is one of the very important, and nowadays one of the roles of the HR manager, where they plan the career paths of the employee, and it keeps them highly motivated and encouraged to do or achieve certain targets. Then the third function, operative function of the HRM, is compensation function. I actually thought of having a class where today's lecture to be more two ways communication side, but as you said that your like IGNOU's website was not working and you haven't read it, and this is one of that part of the syllabus which covers the entire syllabus of human resource management. So I thought I'll just put it into this way, where it is I'm explaining you all the functions, including trying to include all those concepts which will fall under the different blocks and different units, ताकि आप जब syllabus बाद में पढ़ो तो आपको connect समझ में आए कि what did I said and what is that particular topic all about. So coming to the compensation function, compensation का मतलब क्या होता है? Compensation means अगर कोई employee मेरी organization में काम कर रहा है और he or she is working, how do I compensate him or her? So how is the compensation done in organizations? We do the compensations either by giving them wages or by giving them salaries, by giving them bonus, by giving them incentives, by giving them honorariums, etc. So any employee who's working under any department or in any organization, compensation function means the activities where you plan that how do you calculate the entire compensation. किस पर्टिकुलर एम्प्लॉय की जॉब की क्या सैलरी होनी चाहिए, किस बेसिस पे उसकी जॉब को आप इवैल्यूएट करते हो. That is the first thing. If you will see on the slide, it is mentioned job evaluation. There is a difference between performance appraisal and job evaluation, and I guess at this time it is very important
Madam,
that you know. Yes.
Madam, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do this promotion be considered under compensation?
Promotion is, sir, basically I would say as a kind of a reward which is given to the to the employee. In compensation, usually what we include is your monetary compensations which happen, like it is in the form of your wage, salary, even incentives, bonus, different kinds of I would say the other like different things which are given to the employee. Promotion is as a kind of an appreciation which you give to the employee, and it falls under as I said, kind of recruitment, shift of one employee from one level to the other.
Thank you.
Now coming to your job evaluation thing, as I was just saying, ki performance appraisal and job evaluation, they are two different things. Let me give you an example on it. Performance appraisal क्या होता है? एक एम्प्लॉय ने, आपने एक एम्प्लॉय को सेट टारगेट दिया, he or she has performed that particular target, he or she has performed that particular work which was assigned to him, and then you measure his or her performance. Either it is going to be more than the standard which was set, that is the actual performance is going to be high, or it would be that he was not able to perform and he was a poor performer and he was not able to achieve the targets. So when I appraise my employee, I will be more clear to this. I'll come to know about it कि कैसा रहा उस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन का परफॉर्मेंस, उसको परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल बोलते हैं. इसके बहुत सारे मेथड्स होते हैं अप्रेज करने के. दैट इज ऑल टुगेदर अ डिफरेंट एरिया. नाउ कमिंग टू जॉब इवैल्यूएशन. जॉब इवैल्यूएशन इज डन कीपिंग इन माइंड नेचर ऑफ द जॉब. वो जॉब आप करो, मैं करूं, XYZ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कोई भी पर्सन करता है. मैनेजमेंट इज नॉट बॉदर्ड विद इट. व्हाट आर दे बॉदर्ड विद? They are bothered with looking at the role, looking at the responsibility, looking at the position of that particular job, rank of that particular job, what should be the compensation attached to it. Okay, I repeat again, performance appraisal is where you appraise the employees, whether how they have worked the given task or how they have achieved the standards. That is what this performance appraisal is. Job evaluation has nothing to do with the job holder. Job evaluation means evaluating the job, considering the nature, responsibility, duty, rank, position of that particular job holder in the organization. जैसे हम कई बार बहुत सारी चीजें कंसिडर करते हैं. किसी पर्सन का एक्सपीरियंस कितना होगा. अगर सपोज आई टॉक अबाउट द जॉब ऑफ लेट्स से an executive in my organization, and I say that he or she should have 2 years of experience, minimum 2 to 3 years of experience. So I will be mentioning in my job evaluation a person having, let's say, a master's degree, experience of 2 to 3 years, and having a skill of whatever is required for that job would be given this much amount of salary or wage in my organization. This is how I evaluate the jobs, not evaluating the job holder. Whosoever does that job will be getting that compensation. That is what is job evaluation is. Again, in this, there are different methods. How do management does job evaluation? Point method होते हैं, graphical methods होते हैं. There are also where the assessments are done keeping in mind the previous jobs which the people have been doing, and as per that, then the jobs are being evaluated in the organization. Next important thing under the compensation function is wage and salary administration. एडमिनिस्टर करना मतलब वेज और सैलरी का प्रॉपर एडमिनिस्टर करना. अगर मेरी छोटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, आई हैव 10 people who are working with me, easy for me to do the wage and salary administration. I can just prepare a register where I can have, all the records of my people, where I say how many days he or she has worked, what is the wage which I need to give to him, number of hours, suppose it is on hourly basis I am paying people. All those administration things, calculation things are done under that. And it is easy also for me to do. If I say it is a very big organization, it becomes a very tedious task. अगर आपका वेज एंड सैलरी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन प्रॉपर नहीं होगा तो आप प्रॉपर सैलरी वेजेस डिटरमाइन नहीं कर पाओगे. There are leaves which are given to the employees, and supposingly, let's again take a rough example कि an employee is given leave for every month, one leave for every month. किसी employee ने अगर 2 दिन छुट्टी ली या 3 दिन छुट्टी ली तो वो जो 2 days है that would be LWP, leave without pay. So in that case what will happen? Leave is given and salary is deducted for that particular employee. So there are people in the organization. If it is a big organization, we have a compensation manager. जो ये सारे records को, he maintains those particular records, check that who was present, who was absent, number of days, number of hours the employees have worked, what is the wage, salary given to XYZ employee who is working in my organization, and so on. This is what is wage and salary administration is. This also falls under compensation function. तो compensation में पहला आता है job evaluation, second is your wage and salary administration, third is bonus and incentives. Why we are taking it separately? Because these are not given every time. Bonuses, incentives are given to the employees on the accomplishment of certain targets, or if the company has gained profits, they give bonuses to the employees. So what is the amount of bonus given, to whom the incentive needs to be given, that again needs to be administered properly. So there is again, as I said, a proper manager who is appointed under the organization or in the organization for managing the compensation area, जिसको अपन compensation manager कहते हैं. Next function is integration. In integration, understand the meaning of it and you will understand the concepts which are coming under that. In which manner, as a HR manager, are you in a position to integrate the employees together? See, it is very important not only to hire people, but also to retain them. अगर आप एम्प्लॉय को रिटेन नहीं कर पाओगे और वो एम्प्लॉय ज्वाइन करता है and he leaves the organization after a period of time, what will happen? Again and again, management has to spend time and money on recruitment, which is really very, very costly affair, and it is also going to lead to loss of time also, production also. So what does management do? They come up with these kind of ways in which the employee can be motivated, integrated, he is satisfied, he is contented. So there are different ways and in which the employee can be integrated in the organization. One way is by giving him or her motivation. There are different ways of giving motivation. It is in monetary, non-monetary ways of giving motivation to the employees. Money related hota hai, we call it as monetary. If it is any kind of appraisals where you are giving appreciation, where you give recognition, where you give a kind of acknowledgement to that person for his or her work, that is called as a non-monetary motivation. You might have heard about it. In many of the companies, they have this policy, employee of the week, employee of the month. What is that? That is again a way of motivating the employees, maybe in a non-monetary manner. Then we have under this another thing which falls under integration, that is how do you satisfy. Higher is the satisfaction level of the employee, higher you will be in a position to integrate him, retain him in the organization. जैसे जैसे satisfaction level कम होने लगता है, आपका employee जो है, he will lose that particular integrity from the organization, and slowly you will lose that employee who could have been an asset to you. So it becomes very important for the management to integrate, retain the employee. There are redressal cells in the organization. This is again something which falls under integration. What is the meaning of redressal? If I say redress करना means solve करना. Grievance का मतलब होता है अगर किसी एम्प्लॉय को किसी भी काइंड ऑफ डिस्कम्फर्ट है या कोई डिससैटिस्फैक्शन है, तो अच्छी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस क्या करती हैं? they have a grievance redressal cell where the employee can go and register his or her grievances. In this way, what happens is that discomfort, that dissatisfaction which an employee has, it gets vented. Vent होना बहुत important है. जब वो चीज vent हो जाती है, तो again, you know, the morale of the employee, somewhere it gets boosted. Yes, at least somebody has heard me in the organization related to my concern which I was having. That is also something which falls under the integration function. Sorry. Then we have collective bargaining, we have conflict management, we have participation of employees. These are all ways in which, if you have any dispute in the organization, if you have any kind of issues in the organization, how do you resolve those issues? Collective bargaining is kind of a negotiation collectively which is done. That means employer and employee, they come together, they have a proper negotiation process, and under that negotiation process, they try to resolve to that particular issue in a collective manner. That means both of them are participating to resolve that particular issue. There is also one area, children, which fall, my dear learners, which fall under the integration function, that is conflict management. Many times when we have conflicts, it could be intrapersonal, it could be interpersonal. Again, I would like to give you an explanation and differentiation between these two words. If it is intra-conflict or intrapersonal conflict, it is within. I-N-T-R-A. So if it is something where I say it is intrapersonal, so that means it is within myself. I have that conflict. How do I say it is a conflict within myself? I am, let's say, an extrovert person and you are giving me a role of an introvert person. जहाँ मुझे back office पे सारा work करना है. So I am having a conflict with my own personality, which is called as the intrapersonal conflict. It can go even vice versa. I am an introvert person और आपने मुझे role responsibility दी है of an extrovert person. Again, what will happen? I'll have intrapersonal conflicts. Inter क्या होता है? I-N-T-E-R, between the two. So it could be interpersonal between two individuals. It could be intergroup. That means between the two groups. It can be inter-organization. That means between the two organizations. I repeat again. Intrapersonal, within an individual. Intra-group, within a group, people are fighting. Intra-organization, in the organization, people have certain conflicts and they're trying to resolve it. That is all which is happening within the group, within the individual, within the organization. When it is inter, I mean to say between the two. So it could be between two groups, between two individuals, between two organizations. I hope this is clear. The meaning of this part is clear to you. Can we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, coming to participation of employees. Again, as we have been talking about this participative management yesterday also, and I said कि employees जब एक organization में काम करते हैं, बहुत important होता है उनको integrate करने के लिए, giving them the sense of participation. So nowadays what has happened is, the managers, they have come up with this style of leadership, which is participative style. So employees are given that kind of a feeling that yes, you are part of the organization. Your ideas, your thoughts, your suggestions are equally important for the management. So any kind of a decision which has to be taken at the top management level, to integrate them together, to bring them together in the organization, participation of employees, which we call as participative management, is one of the areas which fall under the integration function. And the last one to integrate together is the what is discipline? Code of conduct which needs to be followed. Discipline is said to be very important area in the organization, because if you don't have discipline in the organization, people are not going to work as per the given target or assignments or the role and the responsibilities. There are different ways of making people learn the discipline. Either it is by positive way or it is by negative way. We call that as positive, learning as positive reinforcement, and making people learn discipline in a negative way, we call that as a negative reinforcement. What is this? Like suppose मुझे किसी को discipline सिखाना है, तो उसके लिए I tell that person कि if you do this work on time, if you do this particular act on time, I would be, giving you a reward, or I would be, increasing your salary, or I would be giving you a kind of a positive motivation. That is reinforcement, making him or her learn in a positive manner. नेगेटिव reinforcement क्या आता है? जब आप किसी को कोई चीज लर्न कराना चाहते हो, but it is in a negative way. What is negative way? Either by punishments or by giving, we say there is a deduction in your salary.
Madam, no voice.
Please stay there in the meeting. Session is not finished. Actually, the session is not finished. Dr. Rasmeet is out. I don't know why she is not able to join again. We are searching. Yes, Dr. Rashmi. Yes. ये ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं? ओके. एक्चुअली ये आप कर नहीं पा रहे हैं क्या ज्वाइन? कोई ऐसा दिक्कत तो नहीं है? हेलो. Are you able to join? Please join the meeting. Please join the meeting. Hello. Join meeting. What happened? I don't know. Dear learners, Dr. Rasmeet is trying to join.
Okay, so I'm very sorry. There was some technical glitch, and because of that, I got disconnected from the class. Ma'am, I've joined. Smriti, ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Okay, you can continue.
Yes, ma'am. My dear learners, just give me a minute's time so that I can share the PPT again with you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Punishments like salary deduction or suspension also come in discipline category?
Yes, it does falls that if you haven't, if you do something which is against the code of conduct of the management. So many times it happens that, see, because I said previously also कि एक एम्प्लॉय को फायर करना इतना परमानेंट एम्प्लॉय को तो स्पेशली फायर करना इट इज नॉट दैट वेरी इजी कि आपने डिसीजन लिया और आपने उसको फायर कर दिया. सो मैनेजमेंट को बहुत सारी चीजें प्लान आउट करनी पड़ती है कि अगर आप कुछ भी कोड ऑफ डिसिप्लिन के अगेंस्ट करते हो, so then we will be maybe at times deducting your salary or will be demoting you from that particular job, so that there is proper discipline which is maintained in the organization. I hope आप उस चीज को अग्री करेंगे कि हर जगह पे डिसिप्लिन होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अदरवाइज यू कैन नॉट मेक द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रन. Is the PPT visible to you?
Yes, ma'am. And I have a question. Can you please share a few examples of participative management, like how the participant,
Okay.
management
Yeah, I will.
include
Definitely, I will.
people?
Like supposingly, मैं एक बहुत छोटा सा एग्जांपल लेती हूँ. सपोज जैसे मैनेजमेंट में कुछ लेट्स से टाइम को लेके दे हैव टू टेक अ डिसीजन, right, and they are planning to like revise the timings of the organization. I'm taking one simple thought which came to my mind. So अगर टाइम पे कोई डिसीजन लेना है तो पार्टिसिपेटिव मैनेजमेंट क्या होता है? एक होता है ऑटोक्रेटिक स्टाइल, जिसको अपन हिटलर स्टाइल भी बोलते हैं. रूल ऑफ थंब, वट एवर सेट बाय द मैनेजमेंट, आपको वही फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. एक होता है पार्टिसिपेटिव स्टाइल वेयर द मैनेजमेंट कॉल्स ऑल द, if it is a very big organization, they might be calling the departmental heads, or they might be calling few people, those who are like very senior in the organization. And if it is a very small organization, maybe all of them are called together, where 10, 15, 20 people are there, and then they are asked to give their suggestions that how do we can work on time, or let's say if I want to increase the time for another 30 minutes or 1 hour, so how many of you are comfortable, or shall we reduce the timings on Saturday, or shall we increase the timing on weekdays? So this is one of the ways of making taking a decision by involving the employees. एक एरिया पार्टिसिपेटिव वे में. बहुत सारे डिसीजंस, जैसे पैकेजिंग को लेके अगर कोई डिसीजन है, आप ऐसी कंपनी में हो जहां पे प्रोडक्ट पैकेजिंग पे कोई डिसीजन लेना है, अगेन पार्टिसिपेटिव मैनेजमेंट इज you call people, ask them to share their opinions, give their ideas, and then those ideas which the management finds that yes, this is comparatively of worth and can be implemented, they go ahead with that particular idea. Participative management में decision making management के ही हाथ में रहती है. It is just a kind of, I would say, psychological satisfaction which is given to the employee that yes, you are part of my organization, I am involving you in the decision making and giving you that word that yes, your opinion or thoughts matter for me in the organization. That is what is basically, your participative management style is. I hope I am clear.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So,
Okay.
I mean, we can tell it in a layman language, like making fool of a employee.
No.
Just listen to them and do whatever we want
No, it is not
as a
actually.
management.
What's your name?
Akhil Kaushik.
Akhil, we cannot have the ideas of everybody ना, कि जो भी अगर इतने सारे एम्प्लॉइज हैं तो आप सबके अगर आइडियाज को इम्प्लीमेंट करने लगोगे तो इट विल बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर द मैनेजमेंट टू वर्क. तो व्हाट डज मैनेजमेंट डज, जब ये ऐसा ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग होती है जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉइज को बुलाया जाता है और उनसे कहा जाता है कि आप अपने व्यूज और ओपिनियंस और थॉट प्रोसेस शेयर करो, तो एट टाइम्स इन दिस पार्टिसिपेटिव मैनेजमेंट दे गेट गुड आइडियाज, they also get good thoughts, they get certain areas which can be implemented in such a way which is beneficial for the organization. पर इसमें जो important चीज है वो ये है कि आप decision making power नहीं देते हो उनको, you just give them that particular space so that they can open up with their thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. But whenever an organization conduct a survey to taking view of the employees,
Feedback.
Feedback. So that feedback is not available to the employees for their review. Only management reviews it and take their decisions on basis of them. Or we are not sure like if the decision is making on the basis of that feedback.
Akhil, are you working somewhere?
Yes, ma'am, I'm working.
That's the reason I can connect with you, because you are talking as an employee and not as a learner related to as a kind of student. I'm also working in one of the private organizations, and I would like to share that I am the feedback and review in charge of my college. So, what we do, like you have shared an idea, like shared a thought related to that the feedback is not shared with the employees. We do that in our organizations, and most of the organizations, this is the practice, that whatever is the feedback received for a particular employee or from all your stakeholders, that should be shared, and then feed forward should also happen. That is action taken, उस पे क्या हुआ, that is also to be done. अगर ये properly नहीं होता तो that means it is something which is missing in the organization. देखो, परफॉर्मेंसेस अप्रेज जब होती हैं या एम्प्लॉइज के जो फीडबैक्स होते हैं, इफ इट इज डन इन अ बायस्ड मैनर, that is altogether a very different story. We say then the performance appraisals are not done in a proper way, and it happens. I won't say that it doesn't happen. It happens if the rater is biased. It happens if the management is biased for a group of people. It might happen even with a different kind of, I would say, people coming from the same religion, coming from the same area. You are known to somebody and you have these kinds of appraisers which are biased to them. Yes, definitely it happens. But yes, feedbacks are shared, and good organizations, they always do it, because otherwise employee will never be aware about what are the loopholes or the areas. आप training plan ही नहीं कर पाओगे उनके साथ में.
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. Thank you. I trust you.
Okay. Coming to the last operative function for today's class, that is maintenance function. Maintenance means that is if you are having employees in the organization, how do you maintain them? See, this is also a concept which we did yesterday, goodwill concept. And I said कि for an organization to have a good goodwill or to maintain that particular goodwill, what do? They take care of the employees. it is said that if the employees are given, different facilities, or there are different schemes which are planned for the employees in the organization, they are more integrated in the organization, more connected. So maintenance is one of the function which takes care of their health, their safety, providing them with different social security needs, coming up with different welfare schemes. Now, if I take example of pandemic was the period where many of the organizations, good organizations, they have taken care of the employees, not only emotionally, but also when I talk about it, monetarily also. They've given them financial assistance where and when required. So it is one of the areas of HR where the HR manager has to take care that the people, those who are working with them, उनकी कैसे हेल्थ की, सेफ्टी की, सिक्योरिटी की, different welfare schemes. Like I take an example here also of the maternity and the paternity leaves. Most of the companies, they have paternal leaves which is given to the father, maternal leave is given to the mother. So again, this is one of the I would say schemes, the kind of facility which is given to the employee, so that he feels connected, so that he feels contented in the organization, and to maintain a kind of a good environment in the organization. All these schemes, or I would say facilities, are provided by the management. So HR manager का role क्या होता है? उसका role होता है ये देखना कि with time किस particular facility, किस the employee. HR manager is basically a link pin. He is the one who is an intermediary between the management and the employee. So he has to play both the roles. He has to take care of the employee also, and he also has to listen what management has to say. So they try in that particular area that keeping things in a balanced way, how you can take care of health, safety, security of the employees, coming up with different welfare schemes, which even the government nowadays are planning. There are different acts which even the government has planned for the laborers, those who are working in the industries, in the factories, for the employees, related even to compensation and related even to the maintenance, which is mandatory for the organizations to follow. So that is also one area which HR manager has to take care of. What is something which has been changed in the external environment by the government, and how does it needs to be implemented in the organization where he or she is working. There are personnel records which are maintained. Again, I say PERSONNEL means employee. We are not talking about PERSONAL. AL means it is a kind of personal, individual. Personnel records means records of the employees who have been working in the organization. Research is related to personnel, that is HR से related researches होती हैं. What keeps them motivated? What keeps them contented? What is the area where, why are they having stress? How the stress can be relieved or vented? These are personnel researches which are taken care at the maintenance function of HR. And audit of the personnel. Audit means to check how many people are required, how many are working, whether it is work overload or it is shortage of the workers. How do you maintain them as per the number of I would say the people who are working in the organization, and as per the work which you assign them, you try to bring that balance. That is what is the maintenance function of HR is. Now I have discussed with you almost all the functions of human resource management, starting from the managerial and then coming to the operative function. There is another function which I would like to brief you, that is the strategic functions of human resource management. It means that as a HR manager, he has to play certain strategic, I would say, assist the management in various strategic decisions. So what does the HR manager does? He is a kind of an advisor. He studies the environment, takes care of all the legal areas, take care of all the external changes which are happening, and keeps on directing the management and keeps on directing even the head of the department. So the strategic roles are done in two areas. One area is that assisting the top management, helping them to formulate with strategies. And the second area is to help the department at the department level. When the HODs or the departmental heads, they are making any kind of a strategy, coming up with any kind of a plan or any kind of an action which has to be done or taken. So there the HR manager plays a role so that it can be done in a with a very ease or in a very simplified manner. Now, I guess for today, what we have thought for, that is functions of human resource management, I was able to do some justice with this particular area. For your coming class, I would like you to please read your block 2, that is HR planning. I have already talked about a lot about HR planning today, and I think it is not going to be that difficult now when you read it. So please read that and let me know in our next academic counseling meeting, that is for Tuesday when we meet.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any other concerns or questions if you have, you can just drop that in the chat box.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question.
Yes, Anand.
Ma'am, actually, the counselings are being done on weekdays and we are working. So it's not possible to join the meetings. That is the issue it has.
Anand, we do plan it for evenings. Even I am working. So it is, basically we plan it for like in the evening on the weekdays from 6:30 to 7:30 onwards. Is it comfortable to you at that time?
No, that is not, because I actually have a shift of a night shift. So that's why at that time it is not comfortable for me.
You can mention that concern to the to the people, those who are taking care of it. I mean to say at the admin level. So you can just drop a mail to Smriti ma'am. I think she would be able to reply back to your concern.
Okay.
Madam, what about the videos you had planned to shoot?
My videos?
Are you asking something to me?
Ma'am, they have a concern regarding the timings.
Okay. What is the concern?
Ma'am, few of them, they say that they are working, so it is difficult for them to attend the classes in the evening from 6:30 to 7:30.
Actually, generally we organize academic counseling in evenings and Saturday, Sundays, so that maximum working professionals or others can join that. And at some time, if you're not able to attend the meeting, you can watch the videos, because it's the strategy we cannot change. And if it still it's like that, then I can send you a Google form and you can fill what is your priority to attend the class. But the time should be suitable for everyone, na? Like for university, all the learners and the academic counselor as well, because in IGNOU we try to organize academic counseling mostly in evening or Saturday, Sunday.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, the assignments which we have said, I have already submitted. So I have done it in the Word file, and I have done the PDF and I've sent it. Is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, this is okay for this session. If it is in Word, like you must have typed them.
Yes, I have typed and then I have made the PDF of it and I've shared.
For this session, it is allowed. This semester it is allowed.
Okay. Semester.
This semester it is allowed to write through typing, but in general, in IGNOU we allow only handwritten assignments. So from next semester onwards, you'll have to write. But because it was quite late, this session started very late. So it's like.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And LMS is not working, so don't worry. We have already informed them.
Ma'am, if LMS is not working, then how can I submit my assignments today? Because today is the last day.
Don't worry for that.
Hello, ma'am.
I already yesterday also I told all of you that don't worry for the last date. We all in a learning environment. We know that the session started late, and if the LMS is
LMS
not
is working now,
working,
ma'am.
you have if the LMS is not working, then how can you submit that? So don't worry for that. You should, if whenever you find some difficulty like that or some issue, you just have to inform it, note it, or send through email, so that we can work on it. So many of you have sent me an email yesterday, I think. So I have already informed concern. Don't worry for that.
LMS is working, ma'am, currently. No issues now.
Okay, okay, okay.
Hello. Hello,
Then
Rasmeet ma'am.
then you can submit that.
Hello.
So
Hello, Rasmeet
okay.
ma'am.
Yes, actually, this is academic counseling session, but if it's urgent, you can ask me.
I have
Hello.
already shared one link in the chat box that is related to one of the topics of human resource management, that is employee morale and productivity. If you will refer that particular link, you will be more clear with that particular area. I'll also share the links related to training, performance appraisal, and all that in the coming classes. So don't worry.
Rasmeet ma'am, I have a concern. In Unit
Yes,
2,
ma'am.
there you have covered the function of HR. HR. There is more points like emerging aspects of HR functions and challenges faced by HR. Will you
Yes.
cover this?
I have covered challenges which are faced by the HR managers yesterday, if you have attended the class for yesterday.
Yes. Okay.
We've talked about it in the last class, and to be more precise, this is basically what is informed to me. It is an academic counseling session. So I would not be covering the entire syllabus of yours, because that is not possible to cover in a period of 1 hour, like entire one unit. So what I'm doing is, like, from the second unit or the first unit, whatever is something which is very, very relevant and which is the base for that particular unit, I'm explaining you that part.
Okay.
Actually, in
Thank you so much.
IGNOU, we expect all the learners to study their study material, self-learning material, and come with whatever queries or doubts they are having. But Rasmeet, I requested Rasmeet ji to do some presentations also and cover the important topics for you. So we expect you all, like this day, today I can see that you are, most of you are in discussion mode. So it's better. You have to go through discussions and learn through discussions, and you can ask your doubts like you just asked one. Okay, I think some of the attending learners are from MBA open and distance learning, not the online one. Is there anyone from open and distance learning MBA? Because yesterday I shared the link with those who are not online learners. Is there any one of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes.
And
Okay. Actually, the attendance. This is in this Google Meet we are having the limit of 250 learners, and in MBA online we are having more than 250 learners. So earlier I have not shared, but when I saw that the attendance is less than 70, then I thought let's share this link with you also, so you can also enjoy this and learn. Okay, but it is for
okay,
MBA
ma'am.
open and
Yeah.
online learners. You can learn through this. Okay, we'll be organizing academic counseling separate
Okay, ma'am.
also, but it's already late, so I thought you should attend these also. So
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, shall we end the class here for today?
yes, you can. It's over to you, Rasmi.
Yeah. So we will be meeting on Tuesday at 6:30. My two, counseling sessions which are planned with you are for Tuesday and Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30. I request you to please go through the second block, what we have discussed today as procurement function. Even if you can just roughly go through the third block, that is training and development part, Just let me know if there is anything, if you have a doubt in that, we'll continue with it. Otherwise, I'll explain you the training methods. I'll also share with Smriti ma'am, if possible, we will mail you the link of my video which I was sharing, because I guess many of you have left the class also. So it is about training methods and having on the job, off the job training methods, performance appraisal. So that is going to be very helpful for you. Laksha, I've shared one video right now that is on employee morale and productivity. Remaining which are there, I will be sharing that with Smriti ma'am, and she will be mailing you. Even it could be shared on LMS.
The recordings, yes, I'll mail them all in one email.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And recording of this meeting will also be available on our YouTube channel after my joining on Tuesday.
Okay, ma'am. So thank you so much for your listening. We'll meet on Tuesday again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, hello.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rashmeet ma'am, hello.
You can see someone was asking for my email ID. I have written that in the chat box.
Yes, Pratima?
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Can I ask?
Yes, please go ahead.
Ma'am, handwritten notes are required, or can I submit the computer type file? Is it possible?
Pratima, I guess
Because
again that needs to be cleared by Smriti ma'am. She would be able to tell you about it.
Yeah, I just told you that you can submit this semester. You can submit Word file if you want. Otherwise, in IGNOU, it's not allowed to type and submit. But for this semester, you can submit because it's through, but only for online learners. Are you doing MBA online or open and distance learning?
No, ma'am. MBA online.
MBA online learners can upload Word file also on LMS, and open and distance learning and all other learners of IGNOU can only submit handwritten assignments. And for this semester also, only this is allowed, Pratima. This semester it's allowed, and from next semester onwards, you may not be allowed for this.
Okay. So I'll do that because, ma'am, right now I have finished only 3 course, so that's why other 4 I'm not completed yet. So that's why I asked you. This
You
is my
can do
doubt.
it right now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Rasmeet. I think you are going to finish this class.
Yes, ma'am. I will be leaving the class, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, you want to ask something? Arun? Arun, you want to ask something or what?
Smriti ma'am, hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, on the Moodle platform, the dates has not been extended. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry.
On the platform, the dates has not been extended from 15th May. So can you just ask the IT people to extend the dates on the Moodle platform so that I can submit?
It will be automatically done. Actually, today is holiday. Yesterday was also holiday, and tomorrow is Buddha Purnima. So I think they will do it on Tuesday only. Staff is not there in headquarters.
So ma'am, can we submit assignments tomorrow also in the LMS?
Yes, you can submit if you can.
Okay. Because I thought that the portal will not be open tomorrow. That's why.
Actually, even I am not having that much idea. It must
Yeah.
be open, I think.
Okay.
And if some issues there, you can always send email.
Okay. I'll reach out to you if any issues comes to me.
Yes.
So, ma'am, it is possible that date will extend for submitting the assignment.
आप लोग मेरे मुंह से कुछ भी ऐसे मत बुलवाइए
Ma'am,
ना.
सुनिए
मैं
ma'am, the problem
ऑफिशियल जो डेट्स है वही आपको बता सकती हूँ, बट ये जरूर है it's possible for extension, or if date doesn't extend, I think it will extend, but we can wait. Don't worry for that. I always say don't worry for this thing. So, okay.
Madam, what are the probable dates of term and examination?
Madam, actually for you, for the first semester, the term and examination should be on June 2022, but the earlier sessions are already very late. Your admissions were also very late. So it looking at the possibilities, it may extend. So we can when you will fill the online exam form, after some days you can see the tentative date sheet. So even right now, the online exam form for term and exam June 2022 are not open.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
technically we
Means
call
for
it
online.
June, even if it happen in July.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank
For
you.
online program, will examinations be held online or offline?
Online examination are expected. Most probably they'll be online only.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
But university have right. University have reserved this that if they find some technical issue, they can organize it offline also, because university is having exam centers all over the India, so it would not be a problem for IGNOU. So
Okay. Then,
we
ma'am,
need to be
for
ready for both mode.
so we must be able to like we at the nearest.
Your voice is
Or
not
we,
clear. Yes,
so
nearest
we
you
must,
you can
yeah,
go to any nearest center.
in case they are off.
In case if it's offline, then we have exam centers all over India. Anywhere from any
Yes.
place you can give exam, wherever we are having exam center.
Okay.
Most probably we are going for online exam, but these are all policy decisions, and you all ask me on these type of platforms, so it's not that easy for me to answer. But don't worry, university is always for welfare of learners, so don't worry.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay.
Ma'am, will there be a different checking scheme for the typed assignment, or the criteria will be same for typed and
Ma'am,
written?
small request. Can you just tell the IT people to extend the link to the Moodle platform?
IT people to extend the date on the Moodle form. Like you're not able to upload the assignment because of the last date. Is it so? Are you not able to upload the assignments?
Yes, ma'am. Otherwise, we cannot. Ma'am. Today is the last date. So today is the last date. So the IT people cannot upload. Or if you are trying to upload. No, ma'am. Today is the last date. Today we have. I myself have written about 4 assignments, but today I can upload. But after that, the rest 3 assignments cannot be uploaded. So just tell the IT people to extend the dates on the Moodle platform. That's it. So
Okay,
that
I'll send a
whatever
written.
dates they have put,
I'll
we
send a
can
written
upload the assignment.
concern about this. I'll send it today only. Okay. So I think academic counseling plus student grievances, we can conclude this now. Arun, you can do one thing. You can write your query and send it to me, and I'll forward it. Okay.